Hello and welcome back to the old Sunday Night Football with your host Osman Akhtar. It has been a couple of weeks, however we are back and we are back with a bang. I am joined here by Johnny today. How are you, Johnny? You okay?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you, mate?
I'm not too bad. Well, could be better, you know. Missed a couple of weeks off the radio and it just so happened that Man United beat PSG in those weeks. We've come back to 2 defeats. But yeah, before we go into the show itself, just want to do a quick shout out for this fantastic organization based within Sheffield. Long story short, they are a charity that do loads of events throughout the year. Next week, 23rd of March on the Saturday, they have got an event within Sheffield. I believe it is at the Maya Lounge. I believe Maya Suite. Sorry, Maya Suite. The event starts at 5 o'clock next Saturday. Tickets cost £5. Basically, all the money goes to Yemen, as we all know basically what's happening over there. It's a fantastic event, an opportunity for us to obviously support our brothers and sisters out in Yemen. A lot of talented people will be there. Notably Wajid Akhtar, who is also my brother, not being biased at all, but of course he's an amazing nasheed artist. Also, we have got Ali Official. I believe he's a stand-up comedian, possibly. I think he does a lot of speaking. And Muslim Bilal as well will be attending. Also, just to add, they do have sort of stores and that kind of thing going on. So there's a lot to get involved with. Like I said, £5. If you are interested, check up I Aspire on Facebook. They'll have live updates if you're interested in getting tickets. And also, if you want to, you know, just check this following number, I believe, if I can find it. There we go. 0785 296 6891. That's for the tickets. So that is 0785 296 6891. Like I said, fantastic event next week for Yemen, 23rd of March, Saturday, starting 5 p.m. By all means, get yourselves involved. Anyways, regarding the show itself, as always, if you are watching on Facebook, feel free to get your comments in the comment section. We shall be answering as many as we possibly can as we go along the show. Today's show will be regarding FA Cup, Champions League draw, all that good stuff. Anyways, let's get into the show. Let's talk about probably one of the most, not controversial, but one of the more important sort of points that's happened. The Grealish incident. I just want to start with that first and foremost, because that's something I just personally found absolutely disgusting. Yeah, Johnny, what was your opinions on the Grealish incident? I know that was over a week ago, but like I said, we've not been on the show for a while. So just to start with that, what's your personal take on that? What did you feel about that in general?
I think it was a disgusting incident. I mean, no fan should be allowed to run the pitch and attack a player. It's totally not on. And the fan that actually ran the pitch, he deserves the punishment he got. And the players need to be protected more.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems to be happening quite a lot when fans are running on the pitch. So I think something needs to be done to protect those players.
Yeah, no, absolutely. First and foremost, like, I'm not actually sure what the punishment was. Do you actually know what it was?
I think it was he got a 10-year ban for football, for the football stadiums. But yeah, but permanent ban for, I think, ban for life.
Oh, was it ban for life?
Yeah, ban for life, and then a ban for life from the
team
sports.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think he got prison term as well.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, he got prison sentence. I think it was like 12 weeks or something.
Yeah, 12
like
weeks.
First and foremost, obviously, it's absolutely disgusting. There's so many different sort of opinions being bandied about. Some people questioning the security. Some people questioning the football club itself. Obviously, Birmingham, who are obviously responsible for their fans to an extent. For me personally, first and foremost, like you said, it's absolutely disgusting. I don't understand how a fan could get onto the pitch and be able to assault a player and not be reprimanded before it happens. I just find it a bit ridiculous. Like, I saw someone say, it's not like he was Usain Bolt, like he was slow. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't quick. It's just like the stewards, I feel like, obviously I know they don't get paid enough, but I just don't think they need to do the job, basically, because
there's not enough stewards.
Yeah, exactly that as well. There's not enough stewards, and secondly, they've got to be doing their job. At the end of the day, you can clearly see someone walking towards the pitch. It's not like they just randomly run on. Do you know what I mean? You can see them making their way down the stairs, that kind of thing. If you're actually looking at the fans, then you should be able to spot it. Obviously, I don't want to put too much blame onto the stewards, because at the end of the day, like I said, some of them are just students. They're like young lads, they're like 18, 19, they're just trying to get a job, sort of thing. So it's not 100% their fault. But yeah, just for me personally, it's just a bit for joking. Obviously, there was a Smalling incident as well. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, the fan on the pitch and push Smalling.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much the same thing. Fan easily got on the pitch. Again, that's something that it's not acceptable, is it? Do you think that there's more for punishment that needs to be done, or do you think that was a fair?
Of course, I think the FA need to do a lot more. And they need to do a lot more to keep.
What do you think they can do?
I mean, the security in games needs to be stepped up. I mean, the clubs have to take responsibility for the fans.
There's so much money in football. I'm sure they can sort.
I mean, when is the measures going to be stepped up? When someone gets stabbed or when someone gets seriously injured?
Yeah, no,
I mean, something needs to be done. It seems to be happening quite a lot.
Yeah, no, it's not the first time. It's like,
I mean, the players are going out there to entertain their fans, and that's their livelihoods. I mean, and fans jumping over the barriers, running onto the pitch and attacking players, totally not on. It's totally not acceptable. Whether it's a push, whether it's
a punch in this case, absolutely disgusting.
Push, it's not on.
No, 100% agree. I suppose we could probably talk about this in detail, and we will do it on another show. I suppose we'll do it in the coming weeks with the international break. Okay, so let's talk about the entertainment part, like you said. Manchester City 3, Swansea 2. Swansea 2-0 up at half-time, possibly? I can't remember exactly what part of the game it was. Swansea were 2-0 up, and then obviously Man City completing the comeback late on. No surprise, Aguero being instrumental in that, getting a penalty, I believe. No, scoring the penalty and in fact, he got 2 goals, didn't he? Well, technically one was his own goal. Anyway, so Aguero is quite instrumental, as you would imagine. First and foremost, what did you make of the game itself?
I think Swansea outplayed Man City. Did
you see their second goal?
Yeah, that was an amazing finish.
Not just the finish, the whole build-up. That's a good goal you will see in any division, in any from any team. It was unbelievable passing, to be fair.
I think Man City got a get a jail free card. I mean, their second goal, it was not a penalty. It was not a penalty. Sterling was.
But this is not the first time that Sterling's gone down.
I mean, it seems to be a habit with Sterling. He keeps following.
I think there was incident early in the season when I don't know if you remember. He kicked the floor and got a penalty. Do you remember?
I'm not sure. But I can't
remember who it was against, but he kicked the floor in another game and he got a penalty. Yeah. This one for me personally is absolutely disgusting. He's played the ball quite clearly, and at the end of the day, this is a massive thing for Swansea. Let's not beat around the bush. It's a huge moment for that club.
Huh? I think he was looking for. I think he was going down already. It looked like as if he was going down already. He was looking for it, but it was definitely not a penalty. And their third goal. I mean, don't take it away from Aguero. I mean, it was an amazing header. It was offside. It was blatantly offside. Before the replays were shown, I watched the game. I was shouting offside before the replay.
To be fair, no, 100%. Look, let's be honest. Man City got unbelievably lucky first and foremost, but
you need luck. You need luck when you are chasing. When you chasing.
You definitely need luck. Look, Man United obviously got lucky against PSG to an extent. Some people would say. We'll go into that a bit later on. But for me personally, look, first and foremost, I'm not going to sit here and say too much about it because it's a bit of me being a hypocrite as a Man United fan. The amount of dodgy penalty decisions we've got in the past. I just feel sorry for Swansea more than anything because it would have been. Look, Man United have been kicked out as well. It would have been a massive thing for Swansea to get through the potentially win silverware, but not even that, just to get into Wembley. So in that sense, for me personally, I think I'm more frustrated with the fact that VAR wasn't in place. I just think basically the ruling was because it wasn't played at a Premier League ground that there was no VAR. Because obviously VAR would have seen the Sterling one and straight away said, look, it's not a pen. And obviously the Aguero offside, that was quite straightforward. It's an offside goal. So where do you stand on that, like with the VAR or the refereeing in general? Like, what do you make of all that sort of incident?
I think it's a case of with VAR, it should be used in all the cup games. It shouldn't be used at the big teams. I think it's a case of big clubs getting favourable treatment. I mean, in that situation, I mean, if you're going to use it at the Premier League teams but not at the other teams, I don't think it's fair. I mean, if VAR was used, that would have been ruled out. That would never have been a penalty, and that changed the course of the game. I think Swansea we're going to go on to win the game, and Man City were going out.
It's look, I 100% agree with you. I just think it's a bit ridiculous that how it's fair, the Premier League teams are getting some sort of, I suppose it's not really unbelievable benefit because obviously VAR can obviously in this case City would have lost a penalty, so you can't say it's going to favour a Premier League team, but it just balances out really. For me personally, I'm for VAR. Look, I know as a Man United fan, of course, we are going to say we are for VAR because it gave us that penalty against PSG. But in general, I am for VAR, especially for like offsides and incidents like that it could easily be rectified. But my main sort of opinion on VAR, it takes too long. Like in cricket, it's quicker in cricket. And in cricket, you would argue the decisions are harder to get. Like, for example, if it was LBW or if it was a nick, it is a lot harder to spot. So you do need VAR, well, you know what I mean, the third umpire sort of thing. And even in cricket, it's faster, but with football, the VAR, it was taking like 3.5, for the Man United one, I think it took like 3.5 minutes.
But the thing is, if we're not using VAR, the referees are going to continue to make these big mistakes, and it's going to cost teams results and potentially
Yeah, no,
buys the
absolutely.
next round.
No, absolutely. I feel it's just the obvious thing to obviously.
I mean, it's going to take
implement.
as long as we're going to get the right decision out there, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. I mean,
I suppose it's
all
it
referees
slows
are
down
human
the game,
today, and they will make mistakes. But we need to try and null these mistakes. So there needs to be less of them because it's changing the course of the games.
Okay, so moving on from that in general. So what do you reckon? City quadruple on? Well, obviously it's on, but do you think that it's achievable?
As a Man United fan, it would pain me. It's painful to say this, but I think looking at their squad, I mean, and looking at the form they're currently in, I think it's definitely on. I think it's probably going to be their best chance to win the quadruple.
I honestly think
We're looking at
domestic
teams-
treble is definitely there.
Teams left in Europe, I mean, teams that have got a great chance in the Champions League. They're technically 1 point ahead of Liverpool. If they
But they're
win
not
that-
technically one pen.
well, 2
Liverpool.
points behind. I mean, with the squad they have, and if you look at their
Then-
run of
then-
fixtures, their run of fixtures that they've got coming.
Listen, unless you got the points on the board, I'm not going on this technicalities. At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Regarding the league, first and foremost, as Man United fans, we want Man City to win it. That sounds stupid to say, but I do not want Liverpool to win it. Right? Regarding the domestic cups, obviously, if Man United was still in there would be more of a threat. However, in saying that, Wolves, for me personally, we will touch on that shortly, have shown they're more than capable of beating Man City. Okay, so I'm not going to say that the FA Cup is definitely theirs. However, it looks likely, and given the
But
teams
when
that are
you
still
got-
available.
Players like Aguero, they're playing their so-called second string team. Players like Aguero, Aguero and Bernardo Silva playing.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd expect Man City to win it.
yeah.
I mean, with the firepower they have on the bench as well,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and players
No,
like Foden on the bench.
I
that
can see.
step
I
up.
can see what he said. Nathan's actually asked made a very good point here. He said VAR should be used for offsides and if the ball goes out, but cards and penalties are people's opinions that vary on who you are. That is a very valid point because you saw with the Lindelof incident for Man United. Obviously, that was a red card on the pitch. The referee gave a red card, and then it got overturned by whoever the third referee, whoever
Yeah.
it is that's looking at the VAR decision. It's an opinion. At the end of the day, one referee might deem that as a red card, one referee might deem that as a yellow card. For me personally, I can see why it's a red card. Obviously, being a Man United fan, I wanted it to be a yellow card.
Studs were showing one.
You know exactly, and he's
It
gone
was
through the back of him.
dangerous,
So I can see why it's a red card, but at the same time, the other referee gave it a yellow card. So it's two different people's opinions there. I can see what he's saying. Offsides, obviously, for VAR, that's a no-brainer. What do you think about that? Like, do you think it
I'm gonna have to disagree with. With the point. I mean, I think if we're going to use VAR, it needs to be used for everything, such as like penalties. I mean, what's going to happen is if we don't use VAR for penalties as well, we're going to continue to keep getting these
No, I think
decisions,
I suppose for
bad decisions like Sterling, and continue to get away with these so-called.
well, it's not just Sterling.
yeah,
it's,
Sterling,
it's,
other players.
there's other players, but I don't want to pick on Sterling after the way the media's
players
going about him.
it continues to do this, and it's going to keep happening. And
No,
it's-
absolutely.
So I think it should be used on all these decisions to get a right decision.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's move on anyways, because obviously we've spent quite a lot of time on this topic. Anyway, so Man United 1, Wolves 2. I'm sure a lot of people are tuning in just to hear us talk about this game. Okay, so so Wolves outplayed us, to be quite frankly honest with you. I'm not going to lie. They deserved the win. Straightforward. They were the better team. We scored with practically the last kick of the game, not even deserving of a goal, because prior to the goal, I can't remember us having a proper chance. For me personally, Romero was our best player on the pitch. If it wasn't for him, they probably would have beaten us 4-1. Like, he made that save from the header, which was a corner, and then also the 1-on-1. So quite comfortably, I would say Romero was probably our best player on the night. What was your opinion of the game itself? What do you put the poor performance down to? Is it Ollie's fault, the player's fault? Or where does your opinion lie on that?
First of all, let's not take it away from Wolves. I mean, they were the better team. Deserved to win. I thought the team performance was shocking. I mean, there was no energy in midfield. It looks like the players are tired. I mean, I understand Lingard and.
But how can the players be tired though?
I mean,
they've not played.
There was no energy in that midfield. They was playing like a Mourinho team. There was no pressing. There was no energy. There was nobody. There was no urgency in the play. They didn't even. I can't remember the whole game. I can't remember a single clear opportunity created. I literally can't. Unless I've missed something, I did not see a clear cut opportunity for Man United. Didn't see any goal scoring opportunity. I thought it was a weak and poor performance. I think the tactics were wrong. I think the formation was wrong.
What would you have done differently then?
I mean, I wouldn't have played Lingard. I mean,
why Lingard though?
I mean, I wouldn't have played Lingard. I would have continued. I would have played Fred. I would have given those players a chance. I mean, all right, I understand. I would have brought him off. I would have brought him on in the second half and go. I think we were better playing that diamond formation. That diamond formation that's been working for us.
Yeah.
I mean, the tactics yesterday were all wrong. We're all wrong. There was nothing in midfield. It's like they were all relying on Pogba to create that opportunity. There was nothing in that midfield. There was no energy. There was no movement. There was no service to the front people.
Yeah, for me personally, I've got to echo.
Two strikers. I mean, they played two strikers. Normally we've been playing, but Lukaku didn't play yesterday. We need to go back to the diamond. The diamond that was working for us.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'd echo, quite a lot of what you've said regarding the midfield. For me personally, I was shouting out for Fred to play. Like, I thought, I know people saying in this against Arsenal he wasn't fantastic, but I thought in the second half he showed shades of why we signed him. I thought against PSG he was quite good as well. You got to remember they are very tough games. For me personally as well, McTominay.
Why didn't McTominay play?
Yeah, although
Matic is slow.
Matic is coming back from
Matic
is coming back from an injury, and he's been quite slow as well. So for me personally, I don't see why. After the Arsenal game, it was quite clear that Matic wasn't fully fit in the sense that he was a bit off the pace. So for me personally, I would have played McTominay, Fred, Pogba. I'm saying this in hindsight because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw the team line up, I was happy. But after 30 minutes, it was quite clear that the players weren't fit because they were too slow. There was no energy from Herrera. He wasn't his buzzing self. The ball was being moved too slowly. For me personally, the problem is Herrera. And not in a bad way, but for me personally, you can't play with two DMs in this day and age.
That's what I mean.
He's not a playmaker.
Why is Ander Herrera? They're trying to play Ander Herrera as a ball player midfielder.
He's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
That's for me. That's the problem. Yeah, I think for me personally,
you either play Herrera or Matic.
Herrera.
One of the other. You don't play the two together because it's not going to work.
Yeah, Herrera in the big games and Matic in the big games is fine. It works. But against teams that we are going to dominate the ball, Wolves allowed us to have the ball because with Solskjaer so far we've been sitting on the counter, and that's where we've had most joy. They've looked at that. Nuno's looked at that and said, "No, what? Let Man United have the ball. They don't seem to be as good on the ball. On the break, they causes a lot of problems." So for me personally, tactically, from his perspective, he got it spot on. He figured out what our game plan was out, and he basically nullified it. For me personally, we had to react at halftime and make the changes. For me, I would have taken Herrera off at halftime, whacked Fred on, went 4-3-1-2. And then took Lingard off even, and then put maybe Pereira on or something.
Pereira came on. He did come on.
It was too late. I don't really care. He had to go to 4-3-1-2 at half time. Put somebody in Cam. Even if it's
outplayed in midfield all the time.
We got absolutely outplayed in the middle of the park. It's not good enough for me personally. Look, you see with PSG, they got likes of Verratti, and Rabiot. I know he's not playing at the moment, but both two players that can play. Real Madrid, they've got Modric, they've got Cruz. Two players that can play. Barcelona, Xavi, Iniesta. Two players that can play.
Matic cannot pick a passer.
Obviously, we're talking about players that are on the next level. But Man City, De Bruyne, Silva, both Silvas, they got two midfielders and a DM. They haven't got a midfield. They haven't got like a De Bruyne and then two DMs. It doesn't work against the teams that you're going to dominate the ball because you haven't got enough creativity. It's very easy to play against those. You just nullify Pogba, get that two people on Pogba, and then let Herrera have the ball and Matic have the ball because they're not going to do anything.
Play killer pass.
Exactly, they don't play. For me personally, this is ridiculous. But Smalling probably played the best pass in the whole game. I don't know if you remember it. He played a pass into Rashford on the right wing. What Rashford went right into it didn't really do anything, but he played more forward passes than bloody Herrera did the whole game, which is why I was so frustrated, because I thought, for me personally, Herrera was frustrating me the most. Although he wasn't the worst player on the pitch, he was frustrating for me because he was consistently just playing the safe pass, and that's why I wanted Fred to play, because you saw against Arsenal in the second half, Fred was trying to pass the ball through the lines. Was he successful? Sometimes he was passing it away. Nevertheless,
the idea was right. He was trying to go forward,
exactly.
the ball forward.
That's my point. So for me personally, although Herrera is a pivotal part of our team and squad,
don't play Herrera
he doesn't need to play every week.
Herrera,
He could have played
one or the other.
He could have played Herrera, Fred, and Pogba, and it would have worked, because we would have had two ball-playing midfielders with Pogba and Fred, and we would have been fine. But just coming back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the game itself, do you think we've got enough quality in our team? To look, you look at Man City's squad, and I know it's not fair to compare us to Man City, but you look at their squad, they've got a clear quality in depth. I'm not going to say it in comparison to that, but what I'm trying to say is, do you think we have enough quality on the wing? So like, let me give you a few examples. I think Lingard's got 5 goals this season in all comps. 5 goals. He's our right winger. Martial, I'm not looking at his stats, but I'm assuming he's got about 10.
10 goals.
He's probably got 10. Yeah, I know he's not played a lot of games, but I'm just throwing it out there. So this is the point I'm trying to make. It so he's got 5. Martial's got 10. Lukaku's got about 10, probably, and that's recently. Rashford's got about 10. Pogba's got about 15. Okay, so who's actually going to score his goals? Because that is what, 45 goals.
They're over reliant on Rashford to score.
We haven't got enough goal scorers. Lingard's about 10 goals short. Martial's about at least 5 minimum short. Lukaku's about 10 short.
That's my point about
Rashford's
Lingard.
about 10 short. Pogba, to be fair to him, is overachieved goals wise.
Really and truly, when you're challenging for the league and the Champions League,
we don't have enough goal scorers.
Should Lingard be playing every single game? He's not a goal scorer.
I've said it week in, week out. He offers us perfect balance, and he's good. He's good for the team. He's good for the team. However, he's not going to score you 20 goals. Look at Mane, look at Salah, look at De Bruyne, look at Sterling, look at Sane. Yeah, them 4 players obviously
they are capable of scoring.
That's what I'm saying. They are capable of getting those goals and assists and contributing game in, game out. Is Lingard capable of doing that? No, he's not. It's as simple as that. And I'm not just picking on Lingard. This is the same for every other player in our attacking positions. We need to look at the other teams that we're trying to catch up to, the likes of Liverpool and Man City, and say, play for player, you know, how far are we behind? And realistically speaking, Lingard compared to Sterling,
he's miles behind.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you want to catch up to Man City, and bear in mind, although Sterling's been, for me personally, probably player of the season in a sense, he's not the best player in that team. And Lingard's not even close to him, and Lingard's our weekly starter. Don't forget, they've got Mahrez and Bernardo Silva behind him, who's still better than Lingard. Mahrez, in my opinion, is still better than Lingard. So that's where we're falling short.
Of course he is.
But we don't have enough quality in our team at the moment. Although we like to believe that, and we've been doing good under Solskjaer, I think that's been down to the system, not the individual players. It's been the system that's been working. I think this, for me personally, a lot of Man United fans are overreacting. I personally think you need to give Solskjaer time, give him the players he needs, and let's see what he does. Because realistically speaking, he might not want Lingard in his team. Anyways, we've got 60 seconds here, so obviously we'll just quickly wrap up with Man United, and then we'll talk about Oli after the break, sort of thing. But just going back onto the game against Wolves, where do you think we lost the game?
In midfield, there was nothing in midfield. There was no pressing. There was no opportunities created. They were all scared to make a tackle. There was no energy. There was no movement. It was too play.
Yeah,
it was too one-dimensional. I will sit back.
Do you think in that sense they just they figured out our game plan and they just nullified it basically?
Yeah, basically nail and head.
So that's for me. That was another criticism of Solskjaer. And again, I don't want to be overly critical of him because he's not
vocal enough. He's not vocal enough. When the cameras are on him, he's not vocal enough. He's not getting involved in the game. He's like,
I don't know about that.
When we're winning, it's all good. When in a situation where we're a goal behind,
I don't know. Okay,
enough.
well, we've got 5 seconds. I'm gonna have to cut you off. We'll be back after the break and we'll continue Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Hello and welcome back to Sunday Night Show with your host Usman Akhtar. Okay, so like we was discussing before the break, we were talking mainly about Man United. We're gonna move on to Liverpool 2, Fulham 1. A very shaky game for Liverpool in a sense, although they pretty much dominate the game. Jenny, what do you make of the game itself? Just regarding the result, should we say itself? Because obviously it's a bit harsh on Fulham, late penalty.
I mean, that's what Liverpool do. They grind out results when they're not playing well.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I mean, they won the game.
They got the job done.
Yeah, the job done.
Yeah. So just regarding the first and foremost, right? It was the first time that we saw a bit of a mistake. So Van Dijk obviously knocking the ball back to Alisson. Alisson making a hash of it, and then Babel, who obviously plays for Liverpool, goes in and scores a goal. Yeah, so do you think that was a bit of pressure, or do you think that was just one of those moments?
I think it's just one of those moments. I mean, pressure and one of the moments will both play a big part. I mean, only the great centre-backs in the world make mistakes. It's one of those moments.
Would you put him up there though? Like Van Dijk, would you say he's one of the best in the world?
Do you know what? I'm not. It pains me to say this, right? Van Dijk, he's up there, but he's not the best in the world.
I think for me,
I mean, he's a very, very good centre back. He's a great leader, and
I can't think of many better. I'm not.
I mean,
at this moment right now,
I would not go as far as saying he's the best centre back in the world. He's good, and he's definitely up in the top 5 or 10 or top 10, but he's not number 1.
He's definitely higher than top 10. I'd say top 3. Right. Okay. So another person who's on fine form, Sadio Mane. Mane getting the penalty, obviously, first and foremost in the second half, which we will touch upon a bit later on. But Mane in general has been on fire. Did you see his goal against Bayern Munich? If you've not, please tell me you've seen his goal.
I'm trying to think which one it was.
The one that he brought it down, he flicked it and lobbed Neuer.
The one when he turned, that was a brilliant goal.
Yeah, but that was a brilliant. So he's absolutely battered Bayern Munich, and then obviously he's come into this game, got the most important goal. He started the run, finished the run off. You know, what do you make of his form? Because I feel like it's a bit weird because like Salah at the moment is kind of dipped off, and Mane has kind of stepped up in a sense. Like, what do you make of the sort of Mane?
I did say start the season. I said it last year as well. Sadio Mane is the most gifted player in that team. Salah was getting all the headlines. Sadio Mane is a crucial player for Liverpool. He's an amazing player. He's so gifted.
He is a gifted player, but I don't think he's better than Salah.
I would say honestly,
I
would say that Sadio Mane is amazing.
I don't think he's better than Salah.
He's an amazing player.
He is an amazing player.
He's an amazing player. Okay, Salah's a dip this season, as we all know. But I'm telling you, Sadio Mane is. I'm telling you, their best player. I'm telling you.
Right, okay, fair enough. I don't agree with that. I still think it's Van Dijk than Salah.
Okay, Van Dijk's their best centre back by far, but best player going forward is Sadio Mane.
Okay, well let's move on from Liverpool because obviously I was expecting them to beat Fulham, although it was a bit of a nervy game. Just to quickly touch upon the penalty at the end of the game. It's a penalty. I don't know what the keeper's doing. I think he's definitely a Liverpool fan. But yeah, I don't know what the situation is. Keisha's asked the question here. We've got a couple of questions here. I'll just quickly go over some of them. Nathan's made a point saying out of the top 6, not including wingers, I can't think of many centre midfielders who got goals consistently, apart from Lampard and Gerrard, which is a very good point. Obviously, coming back to the fact that me being critical of Man United players not scoring enough goals, he's also said that if Solskjaer was there at the start of the season, they would, obviously Lingard and Cole would have more goals. So first and foremost, what do you think about that? Am I being too overcritical, or are we being overcritical of Man United players, or is it just they should be doing better sort of thing?
They should be doing better. They should be doing better. As a starter, if you're playing week in, week out, you need to be doing better. And you're playing for Man United. You're playing for Man United, one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah, no,
I need to be doing better.
I personally agree with you because we used to have Ronaldo, we used to have Giggs, we used to have Beckham. You know, there's so many players that used to contribute to goals, man. Like even Park Ji-sung used to contribute. For me personally, don't get me wrong, I love Lingard. I proper love him because of what he does off the ball. He's a bit underappreciated at times, and I've been his massive critic of him. But what I'm trying to say is, I want him to be getting 10 goals, 10 assists this season.
But since Fergie has gone, we have fallen massively. The player recruitment of the last 5 years has been shocking.
Yeah, no,
it's been shocking.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of the questions here. Keishan as well. Who's the best team out of top 6? For me, a no-brainer. Has been outside the top 6.
Outside the top 6, right? Okay.
For me, no-brainer. We found out yesterday. Wolves.
They're
7th as well. I'm not just saying that, but the way they battered us, they played us off the park. I know we look very leggy, and for me personally, that game, I'm not making excuses, but I personally thought it was down to the fact that he played too many players out coming back from injury and they were rusty. That's what I personally thought.
Wolves are a bogey team, to be fair. They've got this.
They've done well against all the top 6 teams.
Not
just us. They've beaten every single team practically. But I think they've drawn to Man City twice though. But they've beaten. They've not played Arsenal twice yet. But yeah, so just regarding the other game in the Premier League, Everton 2, Chelsea 0.
Come on, Everton.
Huge game, obviously huge result for the other teams in the top 4 race. First and foremost, what did you make of this? Pardon me. What did you make of the game? What have you made of Everton as well, a bit under Marcus? It was a bit weird, isn't it, at the moment? It's like Richarlison getting a goal. Have you seen the goals?
I've not seen the goals. I
Well-
did on the radio. I was at work. I was
Yeah,
listening to
no.
the radio,
So the first.
and I have not seen the
Well,
goals.
first goal for me personally, absolutely disgusting defending by David Luiz. He basically bottled the header. It was a corner coming,
Yeah.
50-50 header. Luiz basically turns his back on it, and I can't remember who won the initial header. Then Richarlison gets a rebound. Shocking defending by Chelsea. For me, Sarri seems to persist on defenders based on the ability to play out the back rather than on their ability to defend. So David Luiz has always been suspect, as we all know. Just consistently making poor mistakes. Alonso giving a penalty away late on, which arguably wasn't a penalty, but at the same time, there was enough contact there for him to go down. So it was a weird game from Chelsea. They hit the post. They did have chances, but let's just talk about the top four race. We don't need to talk about this game in general. But where do you stand now? Because this is actually the current situation. So Spurs third, Arsenal fourth, Man U fifth, and obviously Chelsea sixth. No game in hand. That was their game in hand that they've lost. So what's your opinion now?
It's very difficult. I mean, it's too early to call. I mean, anything can happen. As we've seen. I mean, Man United looked on course to get top four. They dropped points against Arsenal. Anything can happen. I don't want to make any bold predictions right now. It's just very hard. It's very hard to call right now. I mean, we will be decided in May. It's very hard to call right now.
So basically what you're saying is that you're sitting on the fence.
Well, basically,
That's all I heard from that. It's very hard. It's very hard.
I think if Man United basically are to get top four, it'd be a scrape.
Yeah, I think
It is
I think it's going to go down to goal difference. I've got to be honest with you,
Well,
because I think it's that close. There's going to be so many twists and turns. But don't get me wrong. Everton on an easy up proposition, especially at Goodison Park. You could easily go there and drop points, draw, lose, whatever it may be. So I wasn't shocked that Chelsea dropped points because Chelsea aren't in the fantastic vein of form. But it's just for me personally, it's just one of those things that I think the fixtures are in Arsenal's favour. You've got to be honest. Arsenal have got the easiest running. They haven't really got many challenges. They've got Wolves and I think Watford. Apart from that, they're all winnable fixtures on on paper. So like Keyshawn's put here, Spurs goal difference helps them, which is fine. They probably lose 6-0 to lose.
I think Spurs are finishing inside the top four.
They're finishing inside.
Yeah, I think they'll finish in the top four.
Keyshawn's also said that obviously they're moving to a new stadium, and do you think that's going to have an impact at all?
I think they'll finish inside top four.
Or do you think the stadium's going to have an impact?
That'll
Though?
play a big part as well.
In what sense?
I mean, they want to play for the fans and obviously get the results.
I
mean, no one who wants to go to a new stadium and lose. I mean, they'll put performance out there. Performance levels will go slightly up. I think they'll finish inside the top four.
Yeah, for me personally, I think the stadium will definitely benefit them because it's their home, and let's be honest, it's White Hart Lane if I'm not mistaken. So it's their home. They're gonna be used to the surroundings. Obviously, I know it's a new build.
They want to give someone back to their
yeah,
fans.
no,
Look how
absolutely.
long they're not
I think for me personally, Spurs. I've said it in January, I believe. I still think they're going to struggle to get top four. Main reason being, first and foremost, the goal difference definitely does benefit them. I think it's +6 on Man United and +7 on Chelsea currently. But I just think I know we've got hard fixtures, but they've got hard. Spurs haven't got the easiest runs of games as well, and they have been dropping points against everybody. So it's not like they've just dropped points against Man United. Not Man United. Sorry, it's the lesser teams, the bigger teams. Sorry, they've been dropping against the lesser teams. They lost to Burnley, I believe. They lost a couple of the games. I think they lost against someone else a couple of weeks ago, 2-1. Can't remember who it was. I think it was Newcastle. I'm not sure. But it's just for me personally, it like you said, it is very difficult to call. But I think if you look at it really on paper, although I don't want to say it, you've got to say it, after Arsenal beat Man United, they are favourites to be in the top four, just basing it on fixtures alone. Because if you look at it, Spurs' next game is Liverpool, yeah? Hypothetically speaking, even if the draw against Liverpool is not bad, that's a pretty good result, obviously. If the draw against Liverpool and Arsenal win the third. So, and then after that, Arsenal have got practically winnable games. Yeah, they've got Wolves and Watford, but in the meantime, Man United have still got to play Man City and Chelsea while they've got Watford and Wolves. You know what I'm saying? So, on paper, Arsenal should be getting top four. I think for me personally, if I was to put my head on the line for anyone, realistically speaking, sitting here right now, you have to say Arsenal in the top four. In the sense,
you have to look at their fixtures, but you never know with Arsenal.
Arsenal do lose stupid games.
I mean, they've lost the first leg, they're in. I mean, with Arsenal, you don't know. I mean, they should be winning it. They should be able to win their remaining fixtures and get inside the top four. But you never know with Arsenal.
Okay, so just coming back to Man United, like I said, I've touched on it briefly. I don't want to go into too many detail. Of course, we lost to Arsenal, which is an unbelievable loss. Quick question: are the wheels falling off? So Ollie's at the wheel Are the wheels falling off? That is a question for you, mate. Or do you think it's too early to say?
It's too early to say. I mean,
So
the honeymoon period was going to come to an end.
yeah, obviously. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here, obviously. So we lost to Arsenal. Unbelievably important game that was. That was a very important game. The Wolves game, yes, I was disappointed. We got outplayed. However, the Arsenal game was very important. The Wolves game, yes, it would have been nice to win the FA Cup, but we could have got through drawing against Man City and lost. And it's not end of the world, innit? But the Arsenal game was a massive. It really, like I said, it benefits them a lot. It puts them favourites for the top 4. So regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I know you haven't been a massive fan of him, in the sense that you don't want him. Zidane's obviously gone to Real Madrid now, so that's a massive blow to anybody who's not wanting him. There's only one realistic sort of person left, which is Poch. I say realistic, but one sort of option that has been branded about, so to speak. But do you think this is the dip now? Do you think you said the honeymoon
it's too
period?
early to call. I mean, I think Ollie's already got the job.
So he's
already got the job.
Yeah, but let me just, obviously, like I'm playing devil's advocate. Let's just say we lose to Watford next. Then what?
But no one expected Ollie to come into the club and get United where they are right now.
I understand that, but
already been written off.
yeah, but I get that. But now we're here. You can't. I think that goes out the window now.
I mean, that wouldn't be fair. That would. If we lose,
it doesn't go out the window. Let me before people start assuming that I'm thinking that I'm playing devil's advocate. Yeah, So, but now we are in the position that with 3 points off top 4. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like he should be under. Sorry. Let me word this properly. He shouldn't be under pressure to get top 4 because of the situation he was when he first came in. But now that we are here and we're in a battle to get top 4. Realistically speaking, he's it could be up for criticism if you don't get it now, because we're in a position we can get it. So if he was like just completely bottle it, then would you say he's not the right man? Because we are under pressure now here. Really, this is the first time since he's been at Man United that there is genuine pressure. Do you think he's got the capabilities of bouncing back?
This is a test of his character right now. I mean, we have to wait and see.
Fair enough.
We have to wait and see.
Very much a fan sitter, aren't we? For me personally, I honestly just think it's a bit of an overreaction if any United fans are wanting him out or saying that he's not the right man. I think he's done more than enough, like I said, to prove his worth for the club. I just think you've got to give him time. Like I said earlier, is Lingard in his plans? Is Marcel in his plans? I'm assuming they are, but just hear me out. He might love Herrera, but he might think, no, what, I want variety there. Do you know what I'm saying? These might not be his players.
We have to.
Yeah, so we'll have to be patient with that.
The season and summer.
Absolutely. Anyway, so let's move on to a bit of positive news. The Champions League roundup. So we're just going to talk briefly on obviously the Champions League games. We'll start with Spurs here first. So Spurs winning, Dortmund 4-0. Unbelievable performance. What did you make of that?
Great performance. Spurs.
Are you surprised by Spurs getting through? Or?
Spurs always seems to have these European nights where they're getting amazing results. And
to be fair to Spurs, right, I've got to just say this and throw this out there. I don't think they're getting enough credit, because if you look at their group that they've progressed through, was unbelievable enough. Like, it was very difficult to get through. They had to go to the Camp Nou to get result to get through. They got that, and then they've just slapped Dortmund. I know they rode their luck a bit against Dortmund, but 4-0. Harry Kane getting a goal. Obviously, they won 1-0 on the night. Dortmund had all those chances in the first half. Harry Kane had one chance second half, buried it. Game over.
Harry Kane is world class. He is world class. For all these, fans, players that for all these people out there, I don't think he's world class. I mean, find me another striker in the Premier League apart besides Aguero, that's consistently scoring goals. Goals.
For me personally, it's definitely Aguero's the best striker.
Aguero's definitely the best. Harry Kane is up there.
It has to be Harry Kane second. I can't think of anybody else.
There is now find me another striker out there consistently scoring in the Premier League.
Not consistently, but I'd say Aguero, Kane, and then probably Aubameyang, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I think for me personally, just coming back onto the Man United players, I just don't think Rashford is a 20. I don't think he's a 25 goal striker. No. I like him. I like what he offers us, and I think he's very young. We've got to remember he's 21. Yeah. Okay, so let's not get carried away and be overly critical. But I don't know if he's got it in him to get 25. To be fair, he did show a bit of form. I don't know. It's just he did. I suppose he still scored against Wolves, but it's just Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like he needs to do more. But again, he's young. He can develop. Keisha's also asked the question here. Richarlison is. Do you think he's a replacement for Hazard? I think it's quite important. Just touch upon Zidane. And obviously we're talking about Champions League at the moment. So Zidane being signed for, obviously going back to Real Madrid. De Gea, there's rumours De Gea wants to, not wants to go, but he's available. Eriksen, Hazard, you know, a lot of Premier League players are linked to Real Madrid. What are your opinions on that, just quickly, while we're talking about Champions League football and stuff?
I mean, it's Real Madrid. All these big players will be linked with the club, because the club needs a massive revamp.
Can you see De Gea going though?
No, I can't see De Gea. I can't see De Gea going now.
I feel like Eriksen will go though. That's the thing. So like we obviously be talking about
Spurs. I think
Spurs.
Levi is another person that's quite a hard bargain. So I think they might keep hold of Eriksen. I think Hazard will go.
I personally think there's a potential of Hazard, Eriksen going.
Then you're going to look at financial fair play and stuff.
Yeah, no, but they're going to sell Bale.
Yeah.
If I was Spurs, I'd take Bale back. I don't know what Spurs fans think. I'd take Bale back. I know he's injury prone, right? I still take him. I think he'd be a massive for them. New signing, a new stadium, a new major player. I wouldn't take him at Man United, don't get me wrong, but I think for Spurs it'd be good for them. I don't know what Keishan thinks. Obviously, he's our resident Spurs fan. But yeah, just coming back to the other Premier League teams in the Champions League. So obviously, we'll talk about Man City quickly. They won 10-3, I believe. Again, absolutely battering another German team. You know, the German league has also been known for its ability, like just being efficient, just like the German team sort of thing. But the Premier League teams, obviously Liverpool battered Bayern as well. We'll talk about that briefly. Do you not think it's a bit weird that Man City won 7-0 and no one spoke about it? I didn't really
no one expected Schalke to beat Man City.
Yeah,
but we all thought Man City would cruise past Schalke.
Yeah, but Liverpool, I think it was 9-3 in aggregate actually, but nevertheless it was a hammering. Yeah, but do you get what I'm saying though? Like, Man City beat them, absolutely annihilated them, and then no one's really spoke about it. Do you think that comes down to Man City? You know how we spoke about the quadruple and stuff? I think in a sense the Champions League is unbelievably important for Man City, and to be seen as a massive sort of club, because at the moment they haven't really got the fan base, and this would put them on the map properly. I know Pep Guardiola has done that for them, but I don't know what you'd think about that.
I think it's very important for them to win the Champions League this year. I do think it's very important. I think they've got the best chance.
Yeah, but they've got.
They've got an amazing chance this year to win the Champions League. I mean, if you look at the teams that are left. All right, there's Barcelona.
Well, we'll not Barcelona out. So, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Just quickly, just to wrap up on them, and because obviously I want to go through the draw and stuff as well. So Man United beating PSG, unbelievable result. Fantastic performance away at the Parc des Princes, and then Liverpool beating Bayern. But the question I'm trying to get to here is just finally the English teams putting themselves on the map, saying, look, the English teams are back. You've seen in the last couple of seasons, Spanish teams dominate. Spanish. Barca, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, obviously, whatever. Is this finally the time of the Premier League teams, one of them to go and win it? Because for me personally, although obviously it's rivalries, I'm overjoyed by the fact that there's 4 English teams still there, because the amount of years it's been that the Premier League teams have been looked down upon. So what's your opinion on that? I
think it's the era of the Premier League teams now. I do think it's the area.
It does go in a pattern, to be fair.
I mean, the Premier League teams. I mean, I think we will dominate it now. I think if you look at a lot of Spanish teams, it's trying to find their way again, trying to rebuild the squad.
Do you not think the other leagues?
If you look at Real Madrid, no one.
Do you not think the other leagues are really weak though, at the moment? I'm not even just saying this. I'm being biased, but the German league, obviously, I suppose.
There's 2 teams.
Yeah, Dortmund have been ahead, and then Bayern have kind of faltered a bit. Obviously, Liverpool beating Bayern, we're not really touched upon that. Liverpool absolutely battered them, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. You outplayed them. Well, I don't care. It's still Bayern Munich.
Yeah, Bill Bayern Munich.
No. It's still Bayern Munich. It doesn't matter. It's still Bayern Munich, bro. They've still got good players there. They've still got world-class talent in that team. They absolutely got outplayed.
There was nothing from Bayern Munich. There was no attack. There was no attack.
Yeah, but Liverpool
outplayed them. Yeah, credit where it's due. There was nothing from Bayern Munich. Lewandowski, I can't remember an opportunity Lewandowski got apart from the one that was slid across to him. He didn't have the ball.
All right, okay. Well, let's quickly talk about the draw itself then. First and foremost, just regarding the English teams getting through. For me personally, I think that was fantastic for the Premier League, because it's been so many years now that we haven't really contributed in Europe, and obviously Chelsea and Arsenal getting through again. for us personally, it's good because to have more games. Otherwise, it would have been too easy. Arsenal, you know, actually beating Rennes. Well done. Anyway, so going to the Champions League draw, we've already got Keisha saying we're not going to beat Barcelona. We'll start with that draw, innit? Quickly, Man U Barcelona. What is your feelings towards that game itself?
They might not going to have to pull something out of the bag to beat Barcelona.
To be honest with you, I think it's an easy win for us.
Honestly, I don't know. I mean,
I'm joking.
That's being optimistic.
That's
being optimistic, and that's honestly think we're gonna have to pull some out of the bag.
That's literally like being a half.
To pull some out of the bag.
That's the understatement. Messi. Who's gonna mark Messi? Seriously.
That's what I mean. I think if we get through that,
if we got Phil Jones fit, we might have a chance. That's what I think.
I think we're gonna have to pull some out of the bag.
Messi's gonna be scared of Phil Jones.
I think we're gonna get hammered, absolutely hammered. I think Old Trafford will get hammering at Old Trafford and we'll get out.
I think at Old Trafford we'd give him a game, but at Nou Camp just.
But
what I'm gonna say, I'm saying this now before people say, "Oh, you didn't say that." It is possible, okay? We did not expect to beat Juventus at home. They've got a better defense than Barcelona. Just hear me out. They've got a way better defense than Barcelona. We beat them, and they had Ronaldo. Okay, let's not forget about that. Also, we did not expect to beat PSG. Yes, they did not have Neymar, Cavani, and that definitely benefited us. But at the same time, us not having our top 5 players definitely balanced that out to an extent. What I will say is Spurs went to Nou Camp and battered them. Seriously, I'm not even joking. I know they drew 1-1, but Spurs for me should have won that game, and I'm sure Keishan's probably agree with me. Yeah, Spurs were the better team, so it's not impossible to beat them. However, it's highly unlikely. Okay, so but what I'm saying is anything can happen. I did not expect us to beat Juventus away from home 2-1. We were 1-0 down. We scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes, took the win. So I mean, anything can happen as long as we stay in the game, and that's exactly how I felt in the PSG game. As long as we stayed in the game, we had a chance. Okay, but anyways, let's move on to the other games because we literally got a couple of minutes left. So Spurs have got Man City. What is your opinions on that one?
Man City are cruise past Spurs.
So you think it's light work?
Yeah, Man City. I think light work. No offense to Keishan, but I honestly think Man City are too strong for Spurs.
Yeah,
I think it's too strong.
For me personally, literally the same as what I've just said. Spurs for me, have not. I'm not even just saying this because Keisha I'm watching, but I genuinely don't think they've had enough respect. Because you've got to look at their group that they got through. It was unbelievable. I didn't give them a chance to get through that group, and on top of that, they had to go to Nou Camp and get a result to get through. They had to, otherwise they were out, and they did that as well. And then they're back to Dortmund. So people are saying it's a light work for Man City. I don't think it's as easy as people are saying. Spurs on the day can beat anyone in the league.
Oh, that's true.
And don't get me wrong, Man City should be beating them just based on the fact that for form and the way Man City are playing. But it's no way an easy game. I know it's going to sound stupid as a Man United fan, but Spurs playing Man City is probably harder a game than us playing Barca in the sense that it's a hard competition. It's a hard Barca, you would expect them to beat us because our defense is that bad. Spurs have actually got a good team. Their first 11 is actually quite strong. So realistically, they can actually do something. Our first 11 defensively is not good enough to play against the likes of Messi, Suarez. So that's why if you're looking at a Barcelona perspective, you'd probably say they got an easier draw than Man City. Anyways, moving on, Liverpool, Porto. Do I need to speak about this one?
This is an absolute absolute robbery. I mean, how they must be the most luckiest team in Europe ever. They got Roma last year and they get Porto. I called it. I said to you, Man United will get Barca or someone tough, and Liverpool will get Porto.
But a lot. I don't know about that, but a lot of teams are tough in Champions. There was only Porto that wasn't a particularly tough team.
Liverpool are getting the luck of the draw.
Yeah,
I mean,
to be fair,
to get past Porto.
Yeah, but you saying that.
But look at last year.
No, but let me just hear me out. You're saying that, and bear in mind I'm a Man United fan, okay? You're saying that, but look at the group they were in. Liverpool had a very hard group, and they got Bayern Munich. I don't care what Bayern Munich this is, it's still Bayern Munich, okay?
Yeah.
So you can't say they got luck of the draw. Man City have had the luck of the draw. The Spurs one is a tricky look, okay? Their group was easy. After the group, they had an easy game. Who did they just beat? Schalke. They should be beating them. So Man City have been very lucky in the FA Cup. Look at the teams they're playing against, Swansea, etc. Burton Albion or something stupid like that. So in that sense, I don't think Liverpool have been lucky. They got lucky in this case, but I think it's warranted to an extent. And just quickly to finish off, Keishan's asked the question about Rashford. I just want to finish on this quickly because I know we talked about Lingard and Martial in particular quite a lot. Rashford, he needs a rest. Keishan's saying he looks a bit jaded. I 100% agree. I think he's knackered. He's playing too much. I honestly thought he's going to rest in this game. I think he's made a mistake.
Was injured.
I know, but I just think he
There's
should have
nobody
went.
else.
He should have went 3.
Sanchez is the other
just,
option.
Just hear me out.
Okay.
He should have went 4-3-1-2. Put Rashford on the bench and put Mata in number 10. Played false 9. That's what I thought. Anyways, we're gonna wrap up quickly because we've got 15 seconds. Like I said earlier, at the start of the show, I Aspire hosting an event at Maya Suite. Check them out on Facebook. It's next week, Saturday, 23rd of March, starting at 5 o'clock into night, so to speak. Amazing event. All money goes to Yemen. So check them out on Facebook, and we will be back next week. Take care. Peace.